to think about it. Life's not gonna get me down. There's nothing can stop me. Gonna make it in this town. I've got a rainbow in my pocket. I've got a dream that just won't die. I've got money my parents gave me, so it's about time I learn to fly. Doing it my way, seeing it my way. Got a lot of love to share. Life's a big banana sandwich. I haven't got a care. I could be a poet, a ballerina or a clown. I could build the bridges that make the world go round. I could be the singer of a Eurovision winner, or meet Mavis Nicholson at a fundraising dinner. There's nothing that can stop me. Everything's gonna be alright. Friends to help me feel the music, so I can dance all through the night. Doing it my way, seeing it my way. Got a lot of love to share. Life's a big banana sandwich. I haven't got a care.
The all-new Alexei Sayle Show.
Welcome to my new series. It's completely different to my last series. Apart from the bits that are exactly the same. But I can guarantee you this, you will not be disappointed. Not unless you're expecting something other than a fat man in a suit shouting at you for half an hour. Well, I don't know. Since my last series, the world has become a much more violent and dangerous place, hasn't it? And what can the individual do to help? Well, one of the things you can do is to join Amnesty International, the human rights group. I'm a member of Amnesty. But I don't pay by the year. I just pay by the week. Because, say, like, I'd paid for a whole year, right? And then suddenly, one day, without warning, all political cruelty and repression and torture suddenly stops. Well, I mean, I'd look like a right dick, wouldn't I? But I suppose in the 90s I've become disillusioned with politics, and I thought I'd try something else. I thought, religion. I might become a Catholic. I didn't know much about Catholicism, really. I mean, the school next to ours was a Catholic girls' school, or as we called it, the Virgin Megastore. It was a very strict school. They were obsessed with things like deportment, you know, teaching the girls to drive side saddle. As I got to know more about Catholicism, I don't know, the theology seemed terribly complex, and it seemed obsessed with damnation, you know. There's all these levels, like, you've got heaven, all right, which is all la, 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 and Mr. Kipling cakes. Exactly. Anyway, you've got heaven, but then you've got all these different types of hell. You've got hell itself, you've got purgatory, you've got limbo. Limbo is where, for all eternity, you dance endlessly underneath a stick. So you've got purgatory, you've got limbo, you've got lambada. That's where, for all eternity, you dance with your knickers stuck up the crack of your arse. You know, it's odd, isn't it? You can take the piss out of Catholicism or the Church of England, but you won't get many comedians, in fact, any comedians, satirising the essential cruelty and repressiveness of fundamentalist Islam. And you can bet I'm not going to be the one who starts.
In my position as British Prime Minister, I have to inform you, Herr Hitler, that if you intend to interfere in the autonomy of Czechoslovakia, I shall be forced to pursue a military option.
Yeah, you and whose army?
The British Army, of course, and those of our allies in Europe.
Well, I hope you like hospital food.
We can't engage in civilized discussion.
Is that your girlfriend?
No, never. Please forgive me. Only joking. Please accept my personal guarantee that we will not interfere in the affairs of Czechoslovakia.
Oh, well, thank you, Herr Hitler. You have come to the right decision.
Yeah. Please give my regards to your wife.
Thank you.
Oh no! I have given Neville the wrong piece of paper. He must have the photocopy of my ass!
I can't find my baby, I don't. Yeah, when you've got these things on, you tend to talk a bit loud. So I'll just turn it down. Isn't it funny how, as you get older, you find it? It's funny how your attitudes change as you get older, though. When I first heard that Beatles song when I was a kid, She's Leaving Home, about the girl who leaves home in the middle of the night, I thought, yeah, stick it to the fascist parents, baby. Now I think, well, what an ungrateful slut. Something inside that was always denied for so many years. Listen to the whining trollop. What does she want? Blood? I mean, her poor parents have saved for years and years. And how does she repay them? She just leaves home in the middle of the night. And to do what? Meeting a man in the motor trade, meeting a man in the topless go-go bar in Rio trade is more like it.
Mr. Fantini, are you the so-called godfather of organized crime in Miami?
Yes. Sorry, I would like to change my answer. My new answer is no.
Mr. Fantini, were you responsible for the murder of Lawrence Darnell on the 6th of November, 1956?
Yes, I was. Sorry, I meant to say no.
At this point, I'd like to play a recorded phone conversation that took place on the 2nd of November, 1956, between Mr. Fantini and Mr. Darnell prior to his death on the 6th of November, 1956.
Hello, Darnell?
Hello?
This is Joey Fantini.
Oh, Mr. Fantini, how are you?
I'll tell you how I am, you f***ing son of a bitch. I know you've been f***ing around with the Cuba account, you f***ing bastard. I'm gonna rip your f***ing head off and stick it down your f***ing throat. You understand me?
Are you threatening me, Mr. Fantini?
You bet I am, you son of a bitch. Me, Joey Fantini, head of organized crime here in Miami.
Mr. Fantini, was that your voice we just heard?
Yes, it was. Sorry, the question confused me. No, that was not my voice.
Mr. Fantini, could you look at this piece of film, please?
That's horrible.
Mr. Fantini, was that you?
Which gentleman are you referring to? The gentleman who was killed or the other gentleman?
The other gentleman.
No, I have never seen that man before in my life.
Mr. Fantini, thank you for your time. You're free to go.
Thank you, Uncle Frank.
When there's a murder, it's often announced that the body has been discovered by a man walking his dog in the woods. I think the police should interview this man. Systems of justice vary between different countries, don't they? In France, you're guilty until you're proven innocent. In the United States, you're innocent until you're proven guilty. And in Britain, you're innocent until you're proven Irish. One of the problems we have today, though, are caused by the cruelty of the English aristocracy in earlier centuries. For instance, during the Highland clearances of the 1700s, the English cleared out all the Scottish people and replaced them with sheep. There was sheep barmen, sheep ferry captains, and sheep working behind the counter in the post office. So no change there, then.
This is a car that has won more awards than any other in its class. What Car magazine has named it Car of the Year for 2 years running? That car is the Alexei Sayle. The Alexei Sayle's maneuverability enables it to get out of those tricky situations. Thanks to the latest power steering technology, nothing will take you by surprise. And best of all, the Alexei Sayle safety features ensure you can take everything in your stride. The Alexei Sayle. Believe it.
For that, you'll burn the negatives as well. Yep. You know Superman, right? Usually he's tough, strong, and decisive. But when he puts his glasses on, he turns into this dithering, incompetent jerk. Well, the same's true of me, because when I put my glasses on, I turn into... John Smith, man, leader of the opposition.
John Smith, help us! The government's destroying the industrial base of the country, eroding civil liberties and wasting millions on stupid council taxes.
Aye, well, that might be true, but, better not do anything too hasty. No, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll just pull faces at them behind their backs, yes.
Please, the nation's crying out for leadership.
Yes, well, all right, I've got a plan. What we're going to do is we're going to bide our time, right, until we've lost the next general election, then I'll pounce. I'm going to hide behind this tree. I'm a bit frightened. Sorry.
Well, we seem to have a sound problem, so let's get the warm-up guy on. Ladies and gentlemen, will you please welcome one of the bottom 5 warm-up men in the country, Mr. Bobby Chariot.
Cheers, man. Thanks a lot. Been to college, Jim. Didn't do much bleeding good, did it, really? All right, how you diddling? Well, bloody sod you then. All right, they seem to have had a breakdown, rather like me, you know. Since me wife threw me out, I've been living in me jag, you know. I'm separated from me 2 lovely kids, Laura and Ashley. Now, hang on, they're me whippets. I can't remember what me kids are called. Anyway, do a few jokes, keep you laughing along, eh? Have you ever noticed, right? You go into a restaurant and there's a sign on the wall and it says, "Thank you for not smoking." And I think, but I am smoking. Brilliant. Anyway, I'll tell you, there's nothing worse than British rail sandwiches, is there, eh? Nothing worse. Apart, perhaps, from electro-torture to the genitals. Has anybody here had electrodes attached to their genitals?
Yes, I have.
Well, I mean, that must be painful. Anyway, as I was saying about my comedy, it's observational, you know what I mean? Has anybody here seen that advert for sanitary towels? It's my life. Have you seen that one? I haven't. Is it good? Yeah, it's my comedy's very observational. Like, you know, you ring your ex-wife, right, and she picks up the phone, but you don't say anything, you know, and she's on the other end going, "Who is it? Who is it? Who is it?" And then you're frightened to say anything, you know, because you don't know what sort of mood she's in, but she knows who it is, and she's going, "Bobby, it's you bastard. Get off the line. Leave us alone. Bobby, you're a bastard. You're a bastard. Bobby, you're a bastard."
And we're back.
What shall we do now?
Let's look at the television.
I don't like this. What's on the other side? Anyone for tennis?
Yes. Me. Me for tennis.
Let's play ball. 15 love.
15 all.
Would you like your dinner now?
Yes. Please. What's this?
It's my comment on dinner. Did you enjoy it?
Yes. How did you know I was hungry for art?
It's come to my notice that names aren't shared out equally. For instance, Paul Simon's got 2 first names, while Harrison Ford has got 2 second names. Further, Jean-Paul Sartre, Hugh Trevor Roper and Leslie Ann Down have all got 2 first names and 1 second name. Nancy Banks-Smith, Sammy Davis Jr. and Andrew Lloyd Webber have all got 1 first name and 2 second names. Norman St. John Stevens has got 2 first names and a st. Sting and Sade have only got 1 name each, and Meryl Streep hasn't got anything you'd call a name at all. Now, I think that the law should be changed so that everybody has 1 first name and 1 second name. People with 2 first names would swap their excess names with those who had 2 second names. So Paul Simon would become Paul Harrison, and Harrison Ford would become Simon Ford. Jean-Paul Sartre would be known on memorials, etc., as Paul Sartre, Leslie Ann Down as Ann Down, and Hugh Trevor Roper as Trevor Roper. Nancy Banks-Smith as Nancy Smith, Sammy Davis Jr. as Sammy Jr., Andrew Lloyd Webber as Andrew Webber, and Norman St. John Stevens as Norman Stevens. This would leave a surplus of names. So Sting can have the Jean left over from Jean-Paul Sartre and become Jean Sting. Sade can have the Banks left over from Nancy Banks-Smith to become Sade Banks. And Meryl Streep can become Hugh Davis. Also, there will be a surplus of names sufficient to complete 1 new person, Leslie Lloyd, and a St. John. Thank you.
Jordan, I want a word with you.
I say, Matron Foster, but I was just trying to boost their confidence.
I know it's your first day here, but putting the arsonist in charge of the annual barbecue was a big mistake.
But it was occupational therapy.
It was the worst bushfire in 30 years.
If you'll excuse me, I'm late for my first group therapy session. Hi, I'm Dr. Jordan, but you can call me Scott, right? Now, I'm new here, so I'd like to start with a little game so we can all get to know each other, right? Now, I'll throw you the ball, you catch it, and then I want each of you to say your names in turn. All right, everyone? I'm Scott. Rather than that, I'll start clapping. 2 claps and a pause. Scott.
Psycho.
Marnie.
Frenzy.
Vertigo. The Birds.
Strangers on a train.
The one where Cary Grant poisons his wife with a glass of milk.
Stop there. You're supposed to be telling me your names.
That's right.
You all seem to be named after the films of Alfred Hitchcock.
That's not true. Mr. Hitchcock named his films after us. That's not true. Mr. Hitchcock named his films after us.
All right, I see. Fair enough. Let's carry on.
Jim.
Now, wait a minute. There wasn't an Alfred Hitchcock film called Jim.
Yes, there was. Jim was the only cartoon Hitchcock ever made.
Well, I'm glad we got that settled. Now, let's get down to work, shall we? As patients, you'd really... I'm sorry, is there a problem?
You said patients.
That's right.
We're not the patients. We're the nurses.
Crazy. I'm crazy for feeling so lonely.
We've got BT breakdown. Where is the warm-up man?
You know, since my wife chucked me out and I've been sleeping in my jag, you know, cooking's been a bit difficult, you know what I mean, you know. But I'll tell you what, love, I've got one of them things that you can plug into your cigar lighter, you know, so I can cook up a bachelor's cup of soup with crispy cretins in it, you know. Most of the time, though, I like to come eat here in the canteen because we do a lovely tandoori kidneys Malawi. Oh, it's cracking it is. What did I have last night? Hang on, let me... Oh, yeah, prawns Tobago style, yeah, great. Anyway, love, I don't know if you fancy coming out after, because I know this little wine
and
bar,
we're back.
You know. It's where people sort of wine and... Am I on? There are a lot of strange phenomena that we don't understand. Why salmon swim upstream to spawn, how black holes are created, and why people go and see Oliver Stone movies. One of the strangest phenomena is called spontaneous combustion. That's where people are found in their houses, burnt to a crisp, but with no sign of a fire nearby. Incidentally, I often wonder what a crisp looks like when it's been burnt to a crisp. A crisp, perhaps. There is another strange phenomenon where old people are found frozen to death in their homes. But that's called having a Tory government.
All right there, how are you? Here, have a seat. You know, went in this cake shop the other day, right? And I said to the woman behind the counter, I said, "Here, love, give us one of them sticky buns, will you?" Do you know what she said to me? She said, "What is a sticky bun?" I said, "It's one of them dingies there in the window." She said, "No, you misconstrue me." Now, I wasn't like to, but I'd left my equipment at home, you know. She said, "No, how do we know that it exists?" So I showed her this sign that said, "Sticky buns, 37p." But she wouldn't let go. She said, No. Do we have any empirical evidence that that is a sticky bun and not, for example, a cement mixer? I said, "I've changed my mind, ma. Give us one of them Danish pastries instead." But she still wouldn't let go. She said, "No, don't you see that our perceptions are intrinsically flawed by their nature of being perceptual?" Well, I couldn't let her get away with that now, could I? I said, Ma. I said, wasn't it Proust who said that the empiricism of the empirical is a tautological tautology? And anyway, I'm pink, therefore I'm spam. You dozy old bat. That's when she came at me over the counter waving this chocolatey Claire in a very threatening manner. Luckily, though, I've been schooled in the oriental arts of self-defence. So, as she came past, I assumed the stance of the alarmed butterfly and I twatted her with the cash register and she went down. But I mean, things like that are always happening to me, you know. But, I mean, I had to hit her, didn't I, you know? But, get off. I'm all right then, but it's nice chatting to you, you know. And if you ever fancy a chat, I'm usually around the bus station, you know, or in here, because I like a good chat. You know what I mean? See you, mate.
Every year, at the end of the Tour de France, there's a big rush of people to the bike shops trying to buy the same jersey as the winner. They seem to think that through some magical property transference, buying the same jumper as the winner's going to make them ride faster. What nonsense! Mind you, I wouldn't mind a pair of Warren Beatty's underpants.
No, honestly, love, I'm not that sort of bloke. I'm a married man. I just want to look at them. I don't want to touch them. And then after, I'll take you backstage to meet Angus Deaton, like I promised. Am I on?
So the bloke who got out of the helicopter says, "Well, if that's the case, I'll have to send the monkey back to Marks and Spencer's." Oh, the cracker.
So, John, did you enjoy your first day at the office?
Yes, fine, thanks.
We always come down here after work.
Do any jokes?
Oh, no, I don't really.
Oh, come on, you must know one.
Well, I do know one, but I'm sure you've all heard it.
Oh, come on, don't be shy.
OK, all right. This bloke goes into a pub, right? And he goes up to the bartender. And, the horse, the man says to the horse. The man says to the horse. The man...
What would you like?
Says to the horse. Excuse me, but...
Sorry to interrupt, John. What would you like?
Just a mineral water, please.
Mineral water. Thanks. Right, John, sorry. Go on. The horse goes into the bar.
No, the man goes up to the horse.
The horse is still outside?
Yeah.
Right, I just want to get this straight. Carry on.
I don't think the joke's going to work now.
No, we want to hear it. Just speak up a little bit so the lads can hear you. Jesus, John.
It's just the mood's gone. The joke's not going to work now.
Of course it will. We want to hear it. Go on.
OK, right. The bloke goes up to the horse and he says to the horse, because he's got the bucket, he says to the horse...
Actually, John, I think I've heard this one. But go on anyway, I'll forget how it ends.
OK. So the man's speaking to the horse, right? The horse is outside the pub, right? The man's speaking.
Loosen your shirt. Slowly. In your own time. Come on, John, you're nearly there.
He says to the horse, because the horse is speaking to the horse, and he says...
God, what happened?
Well, the horse can talk or something.
I love writing down lists of things to do and then ticking them off when I've done them, you know. Sometimes I write down things I've already done, and then I tick them off, like, be born. Done that? I like them books of lists as well, you know, like the Penguin Book of Left-Handed Methodist Airship Pilots, or the Book of 1001 Things to Do with a book about 1001 Things to Do with a dead cat. Winston Churchill, he's a bloke that'll definitely get in the books of lists, you know. Not for his violent suppression of the general strike in '26 or his leadership during the Second World War. No, it's because he was the last white guy to be called Winston. OK, now what have I got to do today? Change underpants after unpleasant incident. Yeah. Write letter of apology to the Synod of the Church of England after unpleasant incident. Yeah, done that. Do half-hour comedy show and then sod off. Yeah. Done that. 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 Done that.
What a strange dream. I wonder what it meant.
I don't smoke.